Will Graham is a man who walks in the footsteps of his grandfather, Billy Graham, though those may be big shoes to fill. His warmth and his mischievous smile set a room at ease when he walks in, and his heart for the ministry of his family are impacting the world, as well as giving assurance that the legacy of the work of his grandfather will carry on. Being the son of Franklin Graham and the grandson of Billy Graham brings with it privilege and responsibility. Will Graham takes all of this in stride, and after spending time pastoring a local church, he decided to join his family's ministry and has never looked back.
One day, God called me to come and help my father, and my dad needed my help at the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. So I'm excited to be part of the ministry. It's not the family business. You can inherit a family business. You know, if your dad's owns a mechanic shop or something like that, you can inherit it if he passes away. You can inherit your family business, but ministry is different. They're not you can't inherit. They're given by God because they're God's. And right now, my dad has that ministry. My grandfather had it. It's now been given to my father. Will it pass to me? I don't know. It doesn't matter because it's God's ministry. But I'm just excited to be a part of the ministry now.
Will's grandmother, Ruth Bell Graham, was a pillar of strength for Billy Graham and gave generously of herself to her family, as well as those in the very wide reach of their ministry influence.
Well, my grandmother was one of the neatest ladies I've ever known. And I'm not saying that just because she was my grandmother, but she was one of those ladies that could sit in a room with a princess, royal family, and to have a prostitute in the same room and both make them feel comfortable at the same time. So she had wonderful grace in dealing with the highest people of society, but also to talk to the lowliest people of society. In the sense what most people pass over, wouldn't want to talk to. She was there, and they always, both of them, always felt warm and accepted in her presence. She was a master of hospitality and of grace, and that's something I really wish I had of my grandmother.
Billy Graham has walked with world leaders, prayed with and advised U.S. presidents, and spoken in front of millions of listeners during his lifetime. When I asked Will about the most influential advice his grandfather told him, there was no hesitation in his reply, and it might not be what you expect.
He said, "Well, there's two things I regret in life. One is," he said, "I wish I knew the scriptures better." He said, I wish I knew the Bible better." He said, "I wish I knew it as good as your grandmother did." And he said, "I just wish I spent more time in the Bible studying it and knowing it, and so I can be better prepared for answers." The second thing, he said, "I wish I spent more time in prayer." He said, "I could accomplish so much more if I spent more time on my knees in prayer, because it was a God thing, and we need to seek God." It was never about Billy Graham, and if I could have just spent more time on my knees, just asking God, would you save these people? And he feels like he could accomplish more. So those are, you think of Billy Graham, and now he's my granddaddy. So, but here's not only Billy Graham, but my grandfather tell me after all these years of ministry, the two regrets: he didn't spend enough time in God's Word and prayed enough. And those are the both things I saw him always doing. And he said it wasn't enough. And not for salvation, but to be used of God. He thought he could have been better used if he spent more time in prayer and focusing on the things that are eternal instead of the things that are temporal.